good afternoon. How about we all rise as we feel able and let's do some singing together. Start off with 100 Ways.
And y'all are 102.
There we go. All right. Let's take a moment and say hello. Say hello to someone you know. Say hello to someone you don't know. Say hello to the folks on the camera. Say hello to yourself. Say hi. How you doing? How's it going? And then make your way back to your seat, get comfy. We're going to sing a couple more.
I want to see you.
last one, we're going to send our love.
Good afternoon, and welcome to Unity Fort Worth. What a wonderful service we have planned for you today with our transitional minister, Reverend Aliza, joining us virtually. You probably, or you might have gotten a glimpse of her earlier during the meet and greet, but we'll get to hear her message soon. For now, let's relax, take a deep breath, and settle in for some announcements. Today's thank you goes to the Lunch Bunch attendees who are gathering regularly to continue the bond of friendship and fellowship and cohesion. Thank you. And any of you are welcome to go, and it's once a month. If you missed our Sacred Listening Circles workshop, we're holding a virtual session with Rev. Aliza tomorrow, September the 9th, from 6 to 7:30. Registration is required to attend, so please use the link or the QR code to sign up for this virtual session right now, or visit our welcome table after service to add your name to this list. Unity's World Day of Prayer begins on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, September 11th at 7 p.m. with the opening ceremony. The theme for 2024 is Moving Mountains, and there are all kinds of events planned throughout the 24-hour event to allow yourself to immerse yourself in prayer, music, contemplation, and you can register to attend everything using the link or the QR code. Next weekend is another one of our exciting Stepping Stones weekends in which Reverend Aliza will be here with us in person. So join us next Saturday, the 14th, from 1 to 5 here in the social hall for our Honoring Our Past, Creating Our Future workshop. This workshop, of course, like all of them, is interactive and an expansive opportunity to explore the heritage of Unity Fort Worth while addressing any unseen patterns, to consciously move forward and co-create a vision and future. You may pre-register for the workshop online using the link or the QR code. However, reservations too, but registrations are not required. But registering does help us accommodate everyone and saves you from having to put all that information down on a piece of paper when you step into the room, so it might be worth it. You're also invited to participate in creating a positive and joyous workshop experience as a volunteer. There are many opportunities available, from bringing a snack to setting up chairs, tech, and all kinds of other items. You can sign up to volunteer when you register, or just feel free to show up around noon and help with the setup. You can just jump right in. We look forward to spending this time with you as we continue stepping into our future together. Then join us the following day, September 15th at 1 o'clock Central Time, for our Sunday service with Reverend Aliza, where she'll share her talk entitled, "Why We Are the Way We Are." Sounds interesting, doesn't it? And informative. And we'll all once again enjoy beautiful music and friendly fellowship. We'll wrap up the Stepping Stones weekend with our Community Connections gathering after Sunday service, just a little bit after 2:15, here in the sanctuary and online for our virtual listeners and participants. During this gathering, attendees share insights and takeaways from the workshop, and will receive some updates about our community from leaders. As announced last week, Unity South Central Region, USCR for an abbreviated form of that, is having a conference Monday, October the 7th through Thursday, October the 10th at Unity of Dallas. There is a wonderful schedule full of engaging activities, from circles of sharing with people from all across the region. This is the largest Unity region in the U.S., by the way. And to special and unique ceremonies and blessings, to a community dinner and concert by Daniel Nema and the Unity of Dallas Choir. So the fee is $149, but it includes everything that I just mentioned. Or if you prefer and just want to go to the dinner and the concert, you can purchase standalone tickets for those as well. And the conference has a hotel block at Hilton Dallas Lincoln Center, just a few minutes from Unity of Dallas. So you would only have to brave the Dallas highway traffic once instead of every day, because we know Fort Worth doesn't have any traffic. So. Anyway, the hotel block will be released, however, on September 21st. So use the QR code or link to visit the USCR website to see the schedule of events, to reserve your room, and to register for the conference today. USCR is also holding a Unitine Rally on October 11th through Sunday, October the 13th. It's open to kids in grades 6 through 8 and adults who are volunteering as sponsors and chaperones. The theme of the rally this year is Ignite the Spark. And there will be lots of fun activities as the Uniteens learn about unity principles and get to know one another. If you're interested in attending with Unity Fort Worth, let us know by signing up for our interest list by September the 15th, which is next Sunday, I believe. Is that right? Anyway, well, that's all for the announcements. Lots of things going on. Now let's enjoy some more music brought to us by our fabulous music team.
Some things in life are bad. They can really make you mad. Other things just make you swear and curse. When you're chewing on life's gristle, don't grumble, give a whistle. smile and dance and sing. When you're feeling in the dumps, don't be silly chumps. Just purse your lips and whistle, that's the thing. And always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the light side of life. For life is quite absurd, and that's the final word. You must always take the curtain with a bow. Forget about your sin, give the audience a grin. Enjoy it, it's your last chance anyhow. So always look on the bright side of death. Just before you draw your terminal breath. 'Cause life's a piece of it when you look at it. And life's a laugh and death's a joke, it's true. You'll see it's all a show. Keep 'em laughing as you go. Just remember that the last laugh is on you. So always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the right side of life. Always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the bright side of life. You know you can. Come on, y'all just keep looking for it. Always look on the bright side of life.
That's a hard one to follow. Today's word is grace. Today we affirm, through divine grace, I am abundantly blessed in every way. Shall we say that together? Through divine grace, I am abundantly blessed in every way. Grace is an awareness that wherever I am, God is. It is my reminder to let God be God in me. Grace assures me that I am never alone on my journey through life, that no matter what I do or fail to do, I am unconditionally loved and accepted at the level of spirit. Grace touches every area of my life. In a lonely moment, grace is overwhelmingly awareness that I am loved. It is a surprising way through challenge I considered unsolvable. It is my whole body suddenly glowing with the power of divine life, even as I experience a health challenge. Those are just some of the many ways I experience grace. Grace need not be, nor can it be, earned. It is a divine gift, available at every moment. As I open my heart to divine grace, I am lifted with undescribable peace. Today's scripture verse is from Hebrews chapter 13, verse 25. Grace be with all of you. The affirmation again, through divine grace, I am abundantly blessed in every way. Together? Through divine grace, I am abundantly blessed in every way.
Now let's give the tech team a few seconds to work their magic and bring in Rev Aliza while I introduce her to anyone who has not yet had the pleasure of meeting her. Reverend Aliza Bloom Robinson began serving as our transitional minister on July 1, 2024. She was ordained in Unity in 2000 and served in the senior ministry for over 15 years before discovering her sweet spot and branching out as a Unity Worldwide Ministry consultant, and her focus is ministries in transition. She loves serving ministries and helping them to see the new possibility, to glean a new potential for themselves individually and the church at large. She's the founder of the New Humanity Collective and has a private practice as a quantum catalyst, professional speaker, leadership expert, and consultant. Please join me in welcoming Reverend Aliza Bloom Robinson.
Will you join me in our invocation by praying together? As you close your outer eyes and take a deep breath in, feel the collective breath. Bring your awareness from the outer to the inner, moving your awareness from your mind to your body, from our humanity to our divinity. Feel your feet on the ground, feel your heart opening, feel your mind quieting as we open ourselves to today's service. We take a moment in this invocation, in this opening prayer, to honor, to witness those who are suffering on this day. Whatever your personal story is, whatever our collective story is, we bring to mind the families that were directly impacted by the school shooting this week. And we hold them in a huge love hug filled with compassion and grace and strength and courage. We bring into our prayer the shooter, the young man and his father, and we hold them in the light as well. Feel that each and every person on this planet is surrounded by that love, by that grace. And for today, for this service, we activate the spirit of curiosity and innocence as we open our minds to the ideas of hope and optimism, even in the midst of whatever life has to give us. And so in gratitude, we pray together. In the name and through the power of that divine essence that is God, source, creation itself. And so it is. And so we let it be. Amen. I had been carrying hope in my pocket like it was a polished gemstone for years. Whenever trouble came, I'd squeeze hope tightly in my shaking hand, and I could feel it bump against my palm like a newborn heartbeat. That's how I knew I was safe. Recently, though, I somehow lost my hope. I have no idea if I put it down somewhere or if it slipped out while I was fumbling for my keys without being able to hold on to hope. I soon became lost myself. After a while of wandering in the wild on my own, I bumped into Hope, who looked so different. Hope was no longer a little gemstone that could fit in my pants pocket. Hope was now a wide stream cutting through the woods. I thought I lost you, I admonished. The river grabbed a couple of rainbow trout and used them to smile at me. Lost me? The water babbled. That's impossible. Well, one minute I was holding on to you and the next you were gone. I needed to change forms, Hope replied. Why? I asked. because you had been carrying me for so long that I decided we should try something different. What's that? I thought I would take a turn carrying you for a bit. The river rose up around me and gently pulled me onto my back. I was floating. I didn't realize how exhausted I was until the river held me and hope carried me. And hope carried me. And hope carried me. Now, whenever trouble comes, I just spread my arms open and let hope wrap me in her slow water. And I can still feel it pulse against me like a newborn heartbeat. And that's how I know I'm safe. I don't know where we're going. Hope and I still appear to be lost, but at least we are together. Maybe we will stay lost out here for a while longer. Funny enough, I'm in no hurry to get to our destination because it has been so long since I felt held by anything. And I think I could get really used to it. That poem is by John Riddell. It'll be in his upcoming book, Wonder Ache. Hope was lost and then found, transformed, transcended, expanded. Can you feel the potency of those words? Can you feel the possibility of relaxing into being held by the river of hope? What might happen if you could? Perhaps you'd also find optimism for the future. We're in crazy times. I feel like I say that every single week. I feel like I've said that for decades. And if you look at the mystics, they've been saying them not even for, well, even longer than centuries. The world is a crazy place filled with experience, and experience is all of it. The good, the bad, the ugly, the horrifying, the despairing, the hopelessness. It's all of it. And what I want to say first, before I go further, is if you personally are in a moment where your hope feels like it's lost, let us hold you. We struggle on this planet. Some of us are experiencing dis-ease or surgeries or illness. Some of us are experiencing financial concerns or relational upsets. Some of us are experiencing grief for what's happening in the world, or grief over the loss of a loved one or something special to you. We are the full gamut, and it's all okay. And it's all more than okay. It's accepted, it's welcome. So if you are one of the ones that are struggling today, lean in and let us hold you like that river. And as you soften and as you relax, you will discover also hope or guidance or relief for whatever it is that you're experiencing. That shooting this week, that school shooting, was so horrifying and devastating to so many of us. It can create the feeling of despair for our world, despair for our country. And yet, if we give into that, now if you were personally impacted, again, give yourself permission to give into that for a bit, right? I'm not saying that, but for those of us who can hold the energy, who can hold the high watch, who dare to trust that there is a bigger picture here, not to diminish or discount any loss or any suffering, not that. But those of us who are able, and that's most of us here in this room today, most of us here, we can do it. It is our responsibility to stand in the spiritual principles that we teach, that we know, that we have studied, some of us for decades. And those principles will guide us through. They will never, ever prevent life from happening. I so wish that were not true. I thought when I was ordained way back when, almost 25 years ago now, in the year 2000, okay, 24 and a half, in the year 2000, I just sort of had this unspoken belief that once I was ordained, nothing bad would happen. I will tell you that that has not been my experience. That life happens, bumps come, things happen, life on the planet will continue. But what I do have is that river of hope carrying me. What I do have is the principles in my back pocket. What I do have is a fundamental belief in our principles that one, God is good and God is present all the time. Two, that humanity is divine. It doesn't matter what your behavior is, you have that spark of divinity within you. And we have the tools, prayer and meditation and law of mind, that we can utilize to navigate through anything. And most of all, our fifth principle, put these principles into practice. Blessed are you if you know this and you do it. So what do? We hold on to hope. We find that place where hope and optimism intersect. And we do what we can. Sometimes what we can do is smile at a stranger. Sometimes what we can do is vote for whatever you're voting for. Sometimes what we can do is hold a door open or make a phone call. Every little tiny action of kindness or compassion impacts the entire world. We know that it's been said, science has proven us, that the butterfly flapping its wings on one side of the world will impact the water on the pond on the other side of the world. Every time we land in hope, every time we land in optimism, every time we're kind, we choose kindness or compassion or love or acceptance, we are changing the trajectory of our world, whether we can see it or not. We dream of a world that works for all people. We dream of a world that has transcended separation and landed in oneness, because in oneness, we will not have most of what we see out there. In the place of oneness, the things that disappear from oneness is everything that's separation, which includes lack and limitation and disease and war and violence and anger and fear. All of that is transcended by love, in love. We have the hope that our children and our grandchildren can live long, abundant, successful, fulfilling lives. And we hold to that hope. Even when we get bumped up, some days we despair, some days we soar. Other days we're catalysts for the changes that are happening on the planet. It looks like it's getting uglier, but that's not true. It's getting more awake. It's getting more aligned. We're seeing the ugly that's always been under the surface. So it looks like it's bubbled up, but it's bubbled up to be transcended. And one thing we know for sure, we're in times of change. Individually, as a country, as a planet, as a world, we're in times of change. The truth is, we always are. Linda Ellerby says, change is a synonym for hope. If you are taking a risk, what you are saying is, I believe in tomorrow and I will be part of it. Here at Unity Fort Worth, we're in a sweet spot right now. The sweet spot between what was, as good as it was, and what is becoming, as we're in this gap, the gap of transition. We're all in change. And how do we navigate change? Well, I'm going to tell you in a moment about activating curiosity and innocence and hope and optimism. And I'm also going to say, participate consciously in the change. When you are taking ownership of where we are and where we're going, you become a participant, you become an owner, you get to be a voice in all of those changes. And that brings hope. But what is hope? Desmond Tutu says, hope is being able to see that there's a light despite all the darkness. So what is optimism? Well, the best way to describe optimism is with a joke. A psychiatrist has two sons. One is a total pessimist, the other a complete optimist. So the psychiatrist, the dad, decides on an experiment. So for Christmas one year, he fills the pessimist room with hundreds of beautifully wrapped gifts of all shapes and sizes. And in the optimist room, he dumps a heap of horse manure. The pessimist gets up on Christmas morning and he's eyeing the gifts suspiciously, sitting motionless, not trusting anything. The optimist, however, this little boy, he's in his room, he is filled with joy. He is digging happily in the pile. His dad comes in and says, "What are you doing?" And he says, "Daddy, with all this horse dung, there's got to be a pony in here someplace." Winston Churchill says, "A pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity, while an optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty." Bill Crawford says, "Many people would rather be certain of their worries and fears than risk the uncertainty of hope and optimism." I'm an optimist through and through. I call myself a possibilitarian, which means that I see automatically, I don't have to work on it. I see the possibilities. I see the good. I wear rose-colored glasses and I am proud of it. And I know it to be true. That doesn't mean that I don't see what's hard in the world. It doesn't mean that I don't have deep compassion. And it also means that I have learned to temper the rose color of my glasses in order to be more present to what is, especially with people who are struggling. My heart has softened with compassion. It's still my first instinct. Somebody says, "I have a problem," and I'm like, "Let me fix it. I see 6 solutions." I still have that very much. But now I'm more apt to say, "Let me witness you. What's going on? Tell me more." Hope and optimism both are really big words that pack a punch. It's not just about dreaming big and wishing upon the stars with those rose-colored glasses, but it is actually something deeper and much more practical. It's about really seeing the world as it is, with all its flaws and all its beauty, and still choosing to believe that we can make it better. It's actively working, our 5th principle, take action. It's actively working towards a positive change. It's life strategies and it's worldviews. And at the intersection, the sweet spot between hope and optimism, we find the sweet spot, right? At the intersection, we find the sweet spot. And I'm calling that Hopetimism. Say it with me, Hopetimism. Hope and optimism, Hopetimism. Say it out loud, Hopetimism. I don't know about you, and I can't hear you, but I can feel in myself sort of an energetic sort of coming up the back of my spine, like, ooh, Hopetimism, that makes me happy. There was a study out that says, which is more important for fulfilling life, hope or happiness, I guess. And what they discovered is that happiness contains hope, but it's actually hope that's more important, because it's hope that opens the doorways to a new possibility. Without hope, it's easy to despair, to think it will never get better. Hope is activational. So we're standing at a cusp. Unity Fort Worth is, our country is, probably you are in your own life. We're at a cusp. We're at a choice point. And truly, we have a choice point every single day. But what if what's going on is so much bigger than we can even imagine? What if we're truly at the cusp of a new humanity now? What if we're truly at the cusp of quantum leaping from separation to oneness? I believe we are, and that we are being called to consistently go beyond what we believe is possible. And when we do that, we move from separation with all the stuff, lack, limitation, polarities, anger, distress, disease, all of those things, violence, war, all of those things, into essentially the kingdom of heaven. And Jesus said, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. It's closer than your hands and feet. Jesus also said, greater things than these shall you do. Shall you do, shall we do, greater than all the things he did. And he also said, all things are possible for those who believe. Now, that is not a child hoping for a pony belief. That is an anchored in our body, knowing that we have the responsibility and the opportunity to create the world we want. And nobody's going to do it for us. We do it. And when we believe in love and kindness and compassion and oneness and innovation, the world changes. Our world changes. So that sweet spot of Hopetimism, how do we find it? First, you find it by finding your center. It's realizing that there's two axes. So we've got hope and we've got optimism, right? But we also have another paradigm of two axes, one that I like to talk about a lot. I don't think I've introduced it here yet. And that is the horizontal axis is about our humanity. It's the timeline of our human self. And the vertical axis is our divinity. So in that intersection of humanity and divinity, there's that sweet spot. That sweet spot is our center. It's our grounded point. It is our spark of divinity. It is the vortex. If you study Abraham, it's the flow. It's where all things happen for good. You know, you've been in that sweet spot. But how do you get back to it? How do you do it on purpose? Well, the humanity is all of it, right? So the further we are from our center, the sweet spot, the more we experience separation, right? So if we're in a moment or in an experience or life is hard, we're probably further from our center. So the first, right? The first indicator is get centered, do your prayer, do your meditation, find your silence, do your walking meditation, do your movement, whatever it is that brings you back out of your mind into your body, out of the past and the future into this now moment. All of those things are tools that bring us into the center. So the more that we're in the center point, the easier our lives become. And again, it's not that stuff doesn't happen, but we navigate it with more consciousness. But then the vertical axis, the same thing can happen. If we're in our center, we are in our human divine. We are in our divine human. But if we go too far on the vertical axis, we end up where I've spent many years with my head up in the clouds. Right? I'm just like all up here in ethereal. I'm like living in the kingdom, but I'm not on earth, right? I'm just like bouncing around up here because I really like that place. Or I'm so grounded that I can't do anything. I'm like, I am grounded to this mountain and this tree and the roots, and I am not moving. But when we bring those to the center, then we become walking divinity, an embodied human, where we are in the world, but not of it. So either axis, we want to come to the center. And it's in that center, that intersection, that we find Hopetimism, where we know nothing is impossible because we are one with Source, with creation herself, with the infinite, with the unlimited potential, with our Christ beingness, if you will, with God. And in that place, we are powerful beyond measure, not power over anything, but empowered in our essence, in our beingness, empowered to consciously create that which we will love. And that which we will love will be good for everybody that it impacts. So how do you activate Hopetimism besides getting in your center? Well, we clean up our past. We clean up unresolved issues. If you're still carrying an issue that says I'm unworthy, or I can't, or I won't, or I don't, or I'm never going to be good enough, that it's really hard to activate Hopetimism from that. If you're carrying a belief that something happened because you're wrong or bad or whatever, it's hard to activate that. You have to clean that up. You have to do the work, the forgiveness work and the healing work, the subconscious healing work, at whatever degree that it's yours to do. You get to tell the truth about your experience. If you're having a bad day, speak it. Like we used to teach in Unity, never say you're having a bad day. But the truth is, if you say, I'm having a bad day and I choose love anyway, that is so much more powerful than saying, I'm not having a bad day. I'm not mad at you. Right? That doesn't work. It's like, you know what? I'm really having an experience and I feel really angry about this, or I'm despairing about that, and I choose spiritual principle. You do it again and again, so it becomes a practice. The more you do it, the more you clean up your past, you clean up your subconscious, the easier it is. This coming Saturday, we're going to be doing another layer of that for Unity Fort Worth. And it's going to be really empowering and really fun. This is going to be some small group interactive work. So if you're anywhere near the area and you want to come play, definitely come. We've heard all about how to register and all that. It's about saying what is. Okay, this is. So what? Now what? Right? And it's taking responsibility for your responses and your reactions to life. So clean up your past is one. Consciously co-create the world you'd love. We're going to do that on Saturday. We're going to consciously take the next layer of creating the ministry that we are becoming, our biggest, boldest, most brilliant becoming, that which Spirit would have us become in the Unity movement, in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, in the state of Texas, and on this amazing planet that we live on. It's bigger than we think. And when we can align with that and activate Hopetimism into that, it gets really exciting. And sure, there'll be actions to take, but they'll be expansive, not laborious, if you can feel the difference. So dream big. What would you love to experience? What would you love to experience in your life? Maybe you'd love to experience complete healing from a procedure or an illness that you've got going on. Feel it, imagine it, see it already done. Maybe you'd love to see Unity Fort Worth in a new building with a new minister. See it done. Call it forth. Know that it will be, but when you align with, come into resonance with what you desire, everything else works for that greater good. I'm not talking about things like I want a new red car, although there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm talking about the qualities of Spirit. What would you love? I'd love more community, more connection. I'd love more abundance. I'd love more ownership in the ministry. I'd love to feel. How do I want to feel when I walk in here? I want to feel the excitement and the vibrancy. It's already there. It's already there, like the river of hope. When you can't find it, relax into it. Let it surround you, let it lift you, let it carry you. Together, let us activate, invoke, and call in, and commit to Hopetimism. Say, I commit to Hopetimism. I commit to Hopetimism for myself, my life, my ministry, and the world. Let's take this into a time of meditation. Take a breath in. Close your outer eyes. And imagine that you can see the axis, the two axes, the horizontal one of your humanity, your life, your lifeline, all the things you've experienced on it. Not so much in a timeline, but see it all there on the horizontal. And then imagine seeing your vertical and knowing that it is yours by divine right. This vertical is already here for you. So wherever you find yourself on that horizontal today, just draw yourself in and land for a moment in that intersection. And feel yourself landing in the depths of your heart, landing into the divinity that is you, that is yours by divine right. Let it soften you, let it expand you, let it open you. And as you bask and expand in this place, notice Hopetimism is already there. Using some of the lines of the poem I read, the river rose up around me and pulled me gently onto my back. I was floating. I didn't realize how exhausted I was until the river held me and hope carried me. Sink into that. Let it become a visceral experience. I just spread my arms open and let hope wrap me in her slow water. And I can feel it pulse against me like a newborn heartbeat. Feel that heartbeat pulsing all around you. That's how I know that I'm safe enough. I'm in no rush because it's been so long since I felt held by anything, and I think I could really get used to it. Allow this feeling of Hopetimism to flow through your body, your mind, your heart, your soul, your spirit. And in this place and through this place and as this place, we activate gratitude. Let gratitude wash through your body. Fill your mind, open your heart. Gratitude and Hopetimism go hand in hand. For this moment, for this experience, for this day, for this ministry, and for this life we all have. We say thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is, and so we let it be. What a blessing to have Reverend Aliza with us today. Please join me in thanking her for being with us and sharing her wonderful message. Well, many of you already contribute regularly to our community, and we're so grateful for your continued support of our mission. If you would like to contribute right now, you can leave your tithe or love offering in the basket coming around, or click on the link to contribute online. If you would like to be a sustaining member, we would love for you to consider setting up a recurrent giving to support our community. In whatever way you choose to share your gifts, we're so grateful as we bless our love offerings. Together, divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am grateful.
Oh, I have days I lose the fight, try my best, but just don't get it right. Where I talk a talk that I don't walk, can miss those moments right before my eyes. Somebody with a hurt that I could have helped, somebody with a hand that I could have held, when I just can't see past myself. Oh, let me be more like mercy, a little more like grace, a little more like kindness, goodness, love and faith, a little more like patience, a little more like peace, a little more like Jesus, a little less like me. a little more like patience, a little more like peace, a little more like Jesus, a little less like me. Oh, I feed the beggar on the street, learn to be your hands and feet, but freely give what I receive. Lord, help me be. I want to be you first above all else. Love my neighbor as myself. In that moment no one sees. Lord, help me be. Yeah. A little more like mercy, a little more like grace, a little more like kindness, goodness, love and faith, a little more like patience, a little more like peace, a little more like Jesus, a little less like me, a little more of yes, everything I preach, a little more like Jesus, a little less like me. Oh, a little less like me, yeah.
Well, it's been such a gift having you here with us today. Join us for fellowship right after service. And do we have a prayer chaplain here today? Okay. Well, we're all just holding everyone in our hearts and minds with great joy and compassion. Visit a few little reminders of the announcements. Visit the welcome table after service for help getting signed up for all the things that we talked about before. The virtual sacred listening circles tomorrow, honoring our past, creating our future workshop next Saturday, as well as Unity's World Day of Prayer and all the USCR events. Whether you sign up or not, remember to join us next Saturday at the workshop beginning at 1 p.m. or come early as you would like, well, noon or after, to pitch in with setting up. And join us next Sunday at 1 o'clock for our regular Sunday service when Rev. Aliza will be here in person, followed by our Community Connections gathering. Until then, stay safe, be well, and have a wonderful, wonderful week. Please rise to sing the peace song, followed by the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and I am.